In a quiet little town, where rooftops glimmered beneath blankets of snow and chimney smoke rose in slow, dreamy curls, lived two children who were the closest of friends. Their names were Kai and Gerda, and together they shared stories, warm mittens, and the kind of laughter that makes winter feel gentle. Tonight, we followed their soft, snowy journey, one that drifts through frosted forests, shimmering palaces, and the warm glow of friendship that shines even in the coldest places. Kai and Gerda lived in neighboring homes with gardens divided only by a tiny wooden box filled with roses, even in winter, when the blossoms slept beneath the snow. The children remembered their bright colors and the way they once lifted their faces toward the sun. One peaceful afternoon, while they traced patterns in the frosted window, a swirl of sparkling snow drifted past their street. The flakes shimmered like little stars. And for a moment, the world felt quiet enough to hear them land. In that delicate swirl, Kai imagined he saw a tall figure dressed in white, like winter itself, watching with a soft, serene smile. Gerda looked too, but all she saw was snow dancing in the wind. They pressed their hands to the glass, wondering at the beauty of winter. The next morning brought a deep, glittering stillness. Kai went out to play, following snowflakes as they settled on the garden path. He felt a calm tug of curiosity, as though something far away was calling for him to see the world beyond their little town. The forests, the mountains, and perhaps even the northern lights themselves. When he didn't return by sunset, a soft worry settled in Gerda's heart. She waited by the window, her candle glowing like a tiny star, trusting she would see his familiar shape coming home. But the night stayed silent. Gerda believed with her whole heart that Kai was somewhere safe, waiting to be found. So at dawn, she wrapped herself in her warmest coat, tucked a small rosebud into her pocket for courage, and stepped into the snowy world.
Her journey began beside the frozen river, which stretched like silver ribbon beneath a pale winter sky. The river whispered gently, its surface glimmering with hints of blue and white. Gerda knelt beside it and asked in a quiet voice, "Have you seen my friend Kai?" The river answered only with tiny ripples, but they seemed to point downstream. Trusting this small sign, she followed its winding course. Deeper into winter she walked, past forests where the trees shimmered under lace-like frost. Birds perched among their branches, feathers puffed warmly. One little sparrow fluttered down to Gerda, chirping a soft note as if to encourage her. She shared a crumb of bread, and the bird sang a tiny song of thanks before guiding her toward a snowy clearing. There, she met a gentle reindeer with warm dark eyes. He sensed the hope in her heart and lowered himself so she could climb onto his back. With smooth, rhythmic steps, he carried her across wide white plains where the snow shone like pearls beneath the morning sun. As they traveled, they passed cozy cabins where windows glowed amber with lantern light. Sometimes families waved from their doorways, offering warm soup or a soft blanket for Gerda's journey. Everywhere she went, kindness opened a path, and Gerda discovered that when one travels with love, the world gently helps along the way. One evening, as the northern sky blossomed with green and violet light, the reindeer slowed his steps. Ahead rose a palace made entirely of snow and sparkling ice, but it wasn't cold or frightening. It shimmered like a dream, pure and peaceful, glowing softly with the color of moonlit snow. Inside, the halls echoed with quiet music, as though the winter wind itself played gentle melodies. And seated on a snowy throne was the Snow Queen. She did not look harsh or fierce. Instead, she seemed calm and graceful, like winter resting. And beside her, on a soft cushion of snowflakes, sat Kai, gazing at the shimmering patterns around him with quiet wonder. Gerda stepped forward, her breath catching not from the cold, but from the joy of seeing her friend safe and peaceful. She called his name, softly, just once, and the sound drifted through the air like a warm breeze in winter. Kai turned, his eyes brightening with recognition. Something warm like sunlight remembering spring returned to his expression. He stood and walked toward her, each step soft and sure. The Snow Queen watched silently, understanding the quiet bond between the children. Winter had shown Kai the wide beauty of the world, but she knew it was time for him to go home. With a gentle nod, she let them pass. Gerda thanked her with a deep, grateful smile. The queen lifted her hand, and snowflakes swirled around the children in a soft, sparkling embrace, a farewell made of winter light. And so, with the reindeer guiding them once more, Kai and Gerda began their journey home. But this time, every step felt lighter. The forests seemed to hum with low, soothing music. The river sparkled with welcome. The tiny sparrow fluttered overhead as if cheering them on. When they finally reached their little town, the snow-covered rooftops looked just as they had before, calm, familiar, and full of warmth. Kai and Gerda returned to their garden, where the rosebud in her pocket had unfolded into a small pink bloom, warmed by hope and friendship. Moral of the story: friendship, like a tiny spark in winter, can warm even the coldest days. Kai and Gerda's journey reminds us that love is a gentle guide, one that helps us find our way, even when paths seem quiet or far away. And sometimes, the world opens its doors to kindness, offering small gifts to help us along. And so, beneath a peaceful winter sky, Kai and Gerda curled beside their window, the little rose glowing between them, and the whole town drifted into soft, dreamy sleep.